Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock, and we are here for some breaking transfer news.
Breaking
Look at this.
news.
Transfer deadline day. There's going to be quite a lot of news today. And this one is coming out of Sky Sports. Then this is from their transfer centre, which is, I mean, it sounds fictional, but I can see it right now.
Yeah, it's like there's loads of people there. There's like 5 of them.
Yeah, and they have said that according to one of their sources, Man United and Bournemouth have agreed on Josh King if they can find a replacement. Although apparently Bournemouth are denying those rumours, but it does sound as though the sort of United King side of this deal is done, doesn't it?
David Ornstein came out and said Josh King wants to join United and is ready to travel to Manchester if an agreement can be reached. We've seen some flight tracker stuff, which is everyone loves doing flight tracker stuff. Everyone loves tracking it. A private jet has gone from Bournemouth and has landed in Manchester. It's not landed. It didn't land. It's just flying around. It's flying about.
Just chilling out in the sky.
There is a private jet that's left Bournemouth going somewhere.
Private jets exist. This is coming off the back, of course, of what was it last night that United seemed to have a bid rejected? We reported on that this morning.
Yeah.
And then it seems as though United are backing again for Josh King.
Yeah.
And we've got some quotes from Eddie Howe as well from his press conference today, which sound like a desperate woman.
Somewhere.
Do you know when you're like, oh, someone's coming and they're trying to get my girlfriend off me, and it's like, you know what, I don't know, she might just leave me. It sounds like that, doesn't it?
It is.
We'll get them up in a second. But yeah, the news is that according to, it's a strange one because half of Sky, like we said on their website, it's still there, you can check it for yourself. They are saying, one of their sources says that a deal has been agreed for United and Josh King, and then they are also saying that Bournemouth are denying that a deal has been finalised at the moment. So to me, that sounds as though King wants to come, as Ornstein said there. It sounds as though United want Josh King, clearly.
Yeah. So the Eddie Howe quote was, "It's not my call at the end of the day. That is between the chief exec and the owner. I know what Manchester United means to Josh," which kind of just means that's basically confirming the interest, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's
he wants to join us as well.
Yeah,
Josh King wants to join Man United.
And what do you reckon? I mean, I think it makes a little bit, if not quite a lot of sense.
I think it makes loads of sense. You look at his age, his history. You know, Solskjaer is Norwegian. He's been coached under Solskjaer. He's played for United. My one thing that worries me mostly about him is his injury record.
Yeah, I think this is definitely short-term fix. It's definitely, it's not something that's going to happen. It's not something that's going to be a player that's going to be here for a while. He might stick around, but he's not going to be someone that's going to be trying to bust into the starting 11 or anything like that. He just wants to. He's just someone to fill a gap. He's someone, so when someone needs a day off, someone needs a night off, he can give us that option. He's also, like I said the other night, I said we're playing against City and we couldn't throw a striker on because we physically didn't have. It wasn't like we've got a choice to bring someone on. We're not bringing him on. We just didn't have someone to go. Just put a cross in for him. That's all it is.
Like, look at all the other top teams in the country. They've all got players like this. I mean, Chelsea have got Batshuayi and Giroud. And you look at United throughout history. We've had Owen. We've had. I mean, none of them were particularly sort of backups in '99. No. But famously, we had 4 top strikers in '99. Sheringham was probably the most kind of the least used in that season. But you have Berbatov, Tevez, Rooney. Now we've got. In terms of first team strikers that were bought in to be strikers, Martial. That's it.
Yeah.
We've got Greenwood, who's young and gets
people are saying
way.
He's injured and things like that.
He is injured. That's one problem with him.
But I think it's a very short term. I think it's a hamstring injury. I think he's on the way back from it. Was it start of December? Did we say there was midway through December? So it's been a month.
Hamstring injury, but he has had a career sort of played with injuries. Since he left United.
That's not really a good one. On New Year's Day, the forward would be out for 6 weeks, Eddie Howe said. So that's probably it's 2 weeks away, which means he'd be probably available after this break.
Yeah, coming in for those Europa League games where those games pick up.
He's not going to be playing as in tomorrow, and he's not going to do that. But there we go. We've got a super chat in there. He's perfect. He can be our second string guy, and he won't hold up Mason's progress. We need more players like this. Depth players make championship. I think the big thing, everyone's going, well, why don't we get a Cavani? Why aren't we going in for those?
Because Cavani costs £350,000 a week to sit on the bench.
It's not kind of it's not a case of the money, because this could go up to 25 million. I've heard there's rumours of that's how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
That's not the problem. And the one thing that's been the problem with loads of different things is the fact that we end up spending 350 grand on these players and things like that. And that's what a Cavani, a Zlatan, so even if we'd have got Zlatan in for 3 months,
because also
that wage bill's ridiculous, and it starts to skew what we've been doing.
It starts to skew what we've been doing, which is lowering. Sorry to interrupt you. Lowering the things like. But it looks like Fernandes is on like 70 grand a week.
Yeah.
But also, even if us as United fans are quite happy to pay 350 grand a week for a substitute because we know he's the best substitute money can buy, that doesn't stop the papers, people on Twitter,
absolutely
creating this awful narrative about the club of once again spending money on a player who's not getting games like Sanchez did, and that kind of thing ebbs away and sort of nips. And we've seen how essentially one of the reasons that Pogba seems like he might be leaving is because he's just been constantly battered from all angles, from fans, from media,
and
from
it's not. And
whoever.
A lot of the time, it's not a case of It's not the case of fans battering and things like that. But the problem with Manchester United is we are
United fans. I mean,
it's everyone's fans. Yeah, it's a case of we are the thing to talk about. We are the people to talk about, and it can be too much for players. I think that's one of the things Lukaku said, that literally the first day he got there, he was getting battered and things like that. And it's something you've got to be able to deal with. I think Josh King isn't going to get that kind of abuse. There's not much expectation in terms of that. We're not expecting him to come in and score 30 goals. What we're doing is we're expecting him to win the header that Martial then gets the second ball.
Yeah, or
at the end of the game. We're throwing... Perfect example is against City. We had nothing to change it in the last few minutes. We're throwing Harry Maguire up front. We're trying to do what we can.
Also,
bring someone.
Let's say
we're
3-0 up against, I don't know, Tranmere, someone where Josh King wouldn't start. Let's say we're 3-0 up against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And you want to rest someone because the game's won. We don't even have anyone we can rest Martial before.
Yeah.
We don't even have anyone we can rest Greenwood or Rashford for. Like, this is just a human person on the bench who scored a goal every 3 games for Bournemouth, which isn't bad to say. He's not been their first choice consistently and has been injured for a lot of that time.
Another super chat in here. We've got messing about over 5 million this summer for Bruno, yet 20 million for King. Illogical Man U. Look, the board and the way we do transfers is chaos. But, it's not great. We're not saying that. But right now, in terms of the logical thing of this, we need a striker. To have a striker come in that all he knows, has trained with before, knows the club, is going to love to play for Manchester United. We know that. We know how much he's been brought up here. He's done all that. Yeah. It seems to be a good fit for right now.
And also,
we needed everyone.
It's better 28. It's not like he's 34 and it's like the last season of his career. Yeah. This is a player who, depending on how good he is, could be at United for 5 years. Like 20 million, 25, 30 million. How much do you think a backup striker costs?
No.
You get in a Premier League proven striker who, yes, he's not proven himself to be world class, but he's proven himself to get goals in the Premier League, which is a lot more than can be said for most of the backup strikers in the league. Like, he gets more goals than Batshuayi does, gets more goals, or as many as Giroud does. And these are all players that United have been linked with.
And again, that's the other thing, is that you look at Giroud and players like that people have been linked with. They aren't going to come to Manchester United because they know how much it's going to be. They know how much it's going to cost. And they're going to be the ones that say, well, I'm 34. I want one more contract. Give us 300 grand a week. Yeah. Give us 200 grand a week. And I don't think that's not going to be what Josh King is going to do.
And also, stuff like Piatek, I think people like the idea of this sort of foreign striker that comes from another country that could be really good. Piatek's young and could potentially inhibit the play time of Greenwood. And like Alcacer and these kind of players. But also, a lot of times strikers, the amount of strikers there are playing in for football teams across Europe that don't score any goals is staggering. Look at Christian Benteke. Just doesn't score goals. Look at most of the strikers for all of the teams in the bottom half. They don't score goals. Finding a striker that can actually score is way harder than you think. There's only sort of 30 or 40 strikers in Europe that actually get anywhere near a goal every other game. It really is more difficult.
And also,
to find
everyone doubting his quality. You just look at what he did. Number one, if you come to a Manchester United youth setup, you're usually not that bad at football. You're usually pretty good. The goal he scored against us is a perfect example. He scored
a bit
against
of a poacher for once.
Bit of a poacher, a good touch in the box, something, and he's someone that wants to go in behind a bit more than everyone else. Everyone's saying someone just said Josh King is foreign. Yes, but I think he probably fits he actually probably classes as a homegrown player because he's been brought up in England. So yes, he is playing for Norway, but he's definitely a homegrown player.
And also he's played in the Premier League for most of his career. Whether he's foreign, when I say foreign, I mean players that are coming from outside leagues to England.
Yeah.
He's a Premier League proven player. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's people saying Werner and things like that. Yeah, but the thing is, it is a bit of a now thing. It's not.
Yeah.
And this is someone that is a now that it is a quick fix. You know, it's something that I don't think Ollie wants to do. He doesn't want to bring in a quick fix in terms of, like we said, the Cavani's, and someone splashing out 70 million right now on a player. The thing for having someone like Josh King is that it's a quick fix that isn't going to hamper anything.
Yeah, and you look at Werner. Yeah, he's going to come in 150, 200 grand a week because he's a big striker. He's going to want to play every week because he's an up and coming young German striker. What is he, 24?
Yeah,
like. He is a big money signing that you have to sort of deliberate and take time over. This is who's the best striker that's available that, ticks all the boxes that we have. Maybe he ticks them on a slightly lower level in terms of he doesn't score that many goals, but he has got, 50 goals for Bournemouth. But if you get Werner in, that's a big money signing. And a big sort of expectation on a player that I don't think we're trying to get on a deadline day thing. Like we saw it with Falcao, we saw it with Di Maria, who I will always maintain that Di Maria was better for United than people say he was.
He was a good player. He was good, I think.
But we've seen that not work. This is a player it's like low risk, medium to high reward, I would say.
And I think the one thing, low risk, everyone's talking about the cost of transfers. I don't think cost of transfers is a thing for Manchester United. That's not what they're worrying about, and I think long term they don't worry about that. What they worry about is the contract length and things like that. You look at Sanchez, everyone goes, well, that's risk free, it's dead easy, it's
how much stick have we got for that?
It cost us nothing, but we're paying $500,000 a week for a player that doesn't play for us. Like, if Josh King doesn't work, we can sell him on,
paying him 50 grand a month.
We can sell him on, and he'll probably go back and earn the same amount he's on now to someone else.
He's probably on 35 grand a week for Bournemouth.
Something along them lines.
This is all guesswork, but he's not on 400 like Sanchez is. That is for certain. So and like we were saying before, people talking about 20 million. Like you were talking about, Sanchez in theory risk-free, Stephen Harrison would say.
Risk-free.
But it wasn't risk-free because we've just been absolutely destroyed. Not only has it destroyed his sort of time at United, but it's destroyed the pay structure at United. And you get someone last minute on a rush deal, you end up giving someone like Werner 300 grand a week out of nowhere because you've panicked and you're getting things done.
There's how much that the Sanchez deal affected other things like Ander Herrera. Like Ander Herrera, I think, used Sanchez a lot in what he was saying, was going, well, he's on 400 grand a week. All I'm asking for is 200 grand a week. But when you sit back, Ander Herrera isn't someone that you want to pay 200 grand a week, especially when you've got Bruno Fernandes on reportedly 70 grand a week. So that's the levels of it all. We've got transfer news.
Talk about that one on the right there.
Yeah. So Manchester United have actually announced someone. United have signed Nathan Bishop from Southend United, 20-year-old goalkeeper. It's a bit of an odd one. But is this sort of is this kind of the Lee Grant replacement? Is he the third choice kind of replacement? The third choice keeper, it is a lot of the time, like English is the number one because we need to fit. You've always got to fit the homegrown quotas in everything you do. Third choice keepers, which is why City have Scott Carson. Which is why who Liverpool got. There's a load of crazy signings where there's like third choice keepers, English keepers, because you need to fit the homegrown thing. Is this someone that it's a bit more of a risk than that? It's a bit more of a long term thing, risk free. He's gonna stay around and potentially develop into a good player. But again,
if he's not very good, then he stays as a third choice keeper. And if he's good, then great, another good goalkeeper.
Yeah, so we're not sure whether he's going to get loaned out anytime soon, or whether he's going to stick around, or whether he's just going to play in the under 23s and things like that. Nathan Bishop is welcome to Man United. Another little transfer news that broke was Jude Bellingham. Apparently, there's been a bid rejected. It was an initial deal of $8.5 million up front, series of add-ons that would take it to 20 million plus. Which
you don't usually see more than 50% of the transfer fee being add-ons, do you? Because that's not really add-ons.
But
that's like having a nickname that's longer than your
normal
name.
It does kind of make sense. It makes sense in terms of a 16-year-old because like one of them add-ons could be 10 million for if he ever plays for Manchester United's first team. That's a massive thing.
We've seen some of the Bruno Fernandes ones where it's like 5 million every time every 5 starts, up to 25 starts, or whatever it is. $1 million, every 5 starts.
Yeah, so We've got another super chat in there. I think Ollie is prioritising the mood in the group rather than the merchant like Cavani, who scored way more goals but could wreck morale. Sanchez or Ram. Exactly. That's why they went. That's why they decided on all that. And that's instead of it being that kind of player.
Yeah, and you look at just from a sort of United perspective, as we said at the start.
Yeah.
He's played for United before. He's played under Solskjaer before. He knows Pogba. He knows Lingard. He came through in that same youth group as them. He's basically a United man who plays for Bournemouth. So, perfect.
A few couple of questions here. Why buy Nathan Bishop? We have Romero. Like I said, it's a third choice.
Second choice.
He's not coming in to be our second choice. He's going to be that third choice at the moment. He might just be someone for the youth team. There's a lot of talk about this for, Nicky Butt's now head of first team development. He's signing players all the way through, which is why they've signed Hannibal this year and all those different things to fit into the younger teams that are going to fit the systems and move forward. That's probably why it is. Next question saying, isn't Josh King on a huge goal drought?
He then goes on to say, or is that a different Bournemouth striker?
They're all on a bit of a goal drought.
Yeah.
Bournemouth in general are on a goal drought. That's kind of what it is. And that's the thing with buying these players. Like everyone's going on, if we'd have been signing Pookie right now, it'd be the same kind of thing. He's not he's had that little rush at the start of the season, but he's not scored that many goals in the grand scheme of things.
And I don't think also, if you look at this type of player I don't think he suits United as much as Josh King does. His build-up plays okay, but he's not great on the ball. Josh King's a better passer of the ball, better dribbler. As breaking news comes in that Edison Cavani's set to stay at PSG there. It was one of them where there's literally like 3 clubs in the world that can afford it.
Yeah.
Chelsea, United, Madrid,
well, I think this
Barca.
was a bit of a merry-go-round with Giroud, because there was reports came out that Giroud was staying at Chelsea. Now Cavani's staying at PSG. I think there was something there, whereas if Giroud had gone to wherever he was...
Which actually we should mention with this Josh King deal, there is a similar thing going on there. Who is it that... does anyone know who is the player that Bournemouth are trying to get in to replace Josh King? If anyone can find that out for us, because that was one of the things that was mentioned. It's if we can have King potentially if Bournemouth get a replacement, and there was a particular person they were looking as for...
Okay.
Talking about
Tyrese Campbell,
or Jared Bowen, but it looks like Jared Bowen is going to West Ham. So have you ever seen that Sunderland documentary?
Yeah.
Do you know on transfer deadline day where he's literally like, right, we want him. Okay, he's going there. If he goes there, he goes there. Yeah. We get him. They go there. It's literally like buying. And selling multiple houses.
That's what so many things are. So
there's so many sort of moving parts to all this. And my personal belief on this is United want King. King wants United. There's a deal agreed with Bournemouth that if they get the replacement in, here's what we're going to pay you, here's the contract. I think it's all done except for Bournemouth getting that replacement in, which they've got, 7 hours. Oh, by the way, speaking of while you're here, tonight there's a transfer special of Late Night Live, and I'm going to be coming to you from 10:30.
To be honest, which is about probably when Josh King's going to be
announced.
10:30
to when the transfer window closes. I'm going to be here with Joe McGrath of Excess Manchester fame. So be sure to check
Lucas
out.
Podolski's in the chat.
Not just United, everything. If there's any big signings, any crazy sort of goings on toward the end of the transfer window, we'll be bringing you all of that. Bloody hell, microphone.
King for 27 million. Piatek went to Hertha Berlin for 27 million. Yeah, but we've talked about that. It's the wages, it's the adapting to the leagues and things like that. He's not adapted to the Italian league, so that's
and
a bit
also
of a thing
not only is he any good, but even if he was good in Italy, we've seen strikers like Higuain come from Italy and been able to score. I think he was the top scorer, the record all-time single season goal scorer 2 years before he joined Chelsea, and then couldn't get a goal for Chelsea. So it's not like, let alone a striker who's young, who might take minutes off Greenwood, who can't even get goals in Serie A.
We've got a Norwegian to come on with 10 minutes to go, nick a goal, yes please. Yeah, exactly. Nice. That's what Ollie's thinking. That's all he's thinking.
Transfer deadline day and Brexit day. I know, it's all happening at once.
Can't United afford to wait until Bournemouth sign a replacement?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Not really, no. Can United afford to wait?
It finishes today.
Yeah, I think they are waiting. This is as much waiting as you can do, really. It's today. They're literally writing the essay on the day it's meant to be handed in, as United tend to do. He's only rated 78 in FIFA. That's a shame.
Kenny Miller is available. He was talked about yesterday.
He's 40 as well. And how many people do we need to sign next season? I don't know.
12?
Probably 5. I would say between now and the start of next season, we need at least 4.
Yeah,
probably 5.
Definitely. It'd probably be 4.
That's first team players as well, not including...
Yeah, not Josh King. And that's the thing as well.
Including Josh King.
Josh King is someone for a first team squad. But to be honest, like I said, if everyone's fit, Josh King maybe doesn't even make the bench. That's the kind of player we're going to sign.
Yeah.
That's what you're hoping for. But right now, when we've not got players, we've not got players fit, and everyone's saying we're signing him to replace Rashford. Rashford's out for a long time. It's not like Rashford's going to be back after the break.
No, Rashford's going to be April, May.
Mertens as well. Again, similar. Like everyone's saying, he's only going to cost 10 million, but he's going to cost that. It's the same with. Everyone said about Eriksen as well. Why didn't we go for Eriksen? He's only gone for 17 million because he's on 340 grand a week in Italy.
Yeah,
like that's so much money.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the thing we're trying to get away from. We're really
the thing is as well. If we sign one of the best players in the world, and he's 26, like we did with Paul Pogba, or 25, then you give him 350 grand a week.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying this is my opinion. I think the club don't want to stack the squad with aging players who want at least 2-year contracts, because Mertens, I know he's 32, but he doesn't necessarily want to sign a 1-year deal, because he probably wants 2 years of 250 grand a week rather than 1 year of 350 grand a week, because it makes him more money.
Yeah.
So we're not always necessarily wanting, because all of a sudden you might have Mertens, who's not scored much this season, who's a year and a half into a contract, and he might have scored maybe 3 goals in 40 games for United, and then it wasn't worth it. I think you've got to look at the risk and reward.
Yeah,
as we talked about with King. Relatively low fee. He can be there for a few years because he's not that young and not that old, and relatively low wages as well. Yeah. Should we call it a day there?
Call it a day.
We're going to be coming back very soon. Kieran and Casey are going to be bringing you the preview for tomorrow's game against Wolves. It's been an exciting one, talking about how Fernandes will fit into that squad. And also any other breaking news, we'll probably go live again. And we'll definitely be live later on at 10:30. Unusual time this week, but it's because of the transfer window closing. At 10:30 for
follow us on Twitter.
Well.
Follow us on Twitter, and they probably we'll tell you then when we're going live and stuff. That's probably
Paddock at
Baggers Alex,
and at Joe Smith 93.
We'll tweet some stuff.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. See you in a bit.